Welcome into Section 65. It's week 6 of the SEC. I'm your host, Clay Keaton, alongside my partner and good friend, Tanner Colson. Tanner, how you doing?
Not too bad. Not a great weekend for the Gamecocks, but we'll get into that.
Well, Tanner, we had to play Alabama, so
listen, I deserved it. I rode high. I deserved to get knocked down a peg. You know, this is the life that I chose, so I can't complain.
Several things to talk about. We'll look at the recaps and talk about the games from last week. A lot of good games this week, though, that we're going to get to talk about. Jack is off this week. He's a little bit tied down with work, so we're going to go through our picks and just assume that he would agree with us. So, Tanner, let's get ready to roll.
Let's do it.
So, yeah, the game recaps, Tanner. Let's roll right into them. Few good games last week. Big shock for me was Missouri, though. Let's start with Missouri and Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm a North Carolina native, so I knew about this guy Eli Drinkwitz. The man,
you did mention him.
He's a man that hits the bottle, and I always have faith in a guy with a cool last name. What he did at App State was pretty impressive. I kind of had faith. I didn't think it would look competent this quickly, especially, with his relative lack of experience in the SEC. But yeah, he's breathed some new life into that program right now. They're playing some pretty good football. I still don't really know what to make of Kentucky right now. They're kind of all over the place for me. But yeah, props to Missouri. Good win for the Tigers for sure.
They ran it all over them. I mean, Missouri ran it all over them. Roundtree, 126 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, he ran it 37 times, but still. Yeah, Kentucky's hard to figure out. They're a mystery. They come in and kick Tennessee's ass. Tennessee kicked Missouri's ass. Then Kentucky loses to Missouri. It's like
I'm starting to think we might be able to drop the old adage that they use for the NFL where it's like a week-to-week league, like any given Sunday type deal. Because none of these results are making any sense. I'm trying to bet trends, and the trends aren't working out for me so far this season. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with Kentucky. I think maybe they just don't have the players this year. They lost a lot of good guys last season. But yeah, that was a big surprise for me over the weekend. I quietly considered betting Missouri. I guess that doesn't really mean anything if I didn't do it. But yeah, I'm definitely happy to see them succeeding, especially against the Big Blue losers in Lexington.
Yeah, interesting. Kentucky they're just a mystery that, you say they don't have good players. I think they do have good players. I just don't know. Maybe here's what I think it is, Tanner. I think it's the brutality of this all SEC schedule. We're halfway through, and it's showing.
Yeah, I guess maybe I should rephrase. I don't think Kentucky has bad players, but I think rankings wise and things like that, maybe they just don't have the depth to kind of, if they have like key losses or anything like that, maybe they just can't quite keep up once the depth chart really starts getting tested. Because they're a decent recruiting school, but
that can't be your argument for their game against Missouri.
No, I mean Missouri's got worse players than they do, but they got a damn good coach, and
that's true.
I think Kentucky lost Benny Snell last year, and he was everything. They had Benny Snell and Lynn Bowden Jr. last year were kind of their guys, and maybe they're still just kind of trying to figure out their identity without him. Quincy Wilson's been a little bit of a disappointment too this season. I thought he'd come out a little stronger.
Terry Wilson?
Or yeah, did I call him Quincy Wilson?
Yeah.
I think that's the player at Florida. That's my fault.
Let's jump over to Oxford. Kiffin with a lot of comments this week.
Yeah, I got something to say about this Oxford game. I'm on Team Kiffin here, bud. They were one of my big 3 picks last week. I picked Ole Miss to cover against Auburn. I see Auburn for what they are, which is frauds. And I made the right –
Bo don't know.
Bo doesn't know shit. I made the right bet. I thought that, Auburn would be the team to make the mistakes. I thought, it was kind of a bad defense versus bad offense game. And I made the right call. I thought Auburn would be the team to make the mistakes. And here we were late in the game, and they're supposed to receive the kickoff. The ball clearly bounces right off their guy's pinky finger into the end zone, picked up for a Ole Miss touchdown. SEC says touchback, just goes on like nothing ever happened. I don't know who owes me money, but someone owes me a refund. I don't know if it's the SEC. I don't know if it's Bovada. I don't know if it should come straight out of one of those referees' pockets. But
Kiffin's donating. He just donated $25,000. But good for him. I'm glad he stood up for his guys. And it's bullshit. It's bullshit, is what it is, and it's sad. And it's sad because now Ole Miss is 1-4. That Auburn win for them would have been, a momentum changer. And now, thank God they've got Vandy rolling in this week because they're gonna hammer them. I'm putting it all down on Kiffin, baby. Minus 16.5. Take it all the way to 20. I'm rolling Ole Miss all day long.
Lane Kiffin's got 2.5 million pennies on that game next week.
Toddy.
But the SEC offices are in Birmingham. Auburn's also in Alabama. Makes you wonder, after what happened at Arkansas and now this, it's like Ole Miss is probably the best 1-4 team I've seen in a while, and Auburn is probably the worst. What are they? 2-3, 3-2. I mean, let's see,
3-2.
Yeah, they're 3-2. They're the worst 3-2 team I've ever seen, especially in an all schedule. They should be 1-4. They're 2 blown calls away from being 1-4 right now. And Malzahn and his sweater vest should be on their way out, but instead they're putting up a decent season, and frankly they're in contention for the West if Bama somehow slips up. But I'm pissed. I don't understand how this happened, but at least the Iron Bowl will be more interesting this season with Auburn's inflated record.
That just leaves Tennessee and Bama and South Carolina, LSU. And, what I would usually say is, well, yeah, Bama kicked Tennessee's ass and LSU kicked South Carolina's ass. But LSU's not good. So let's talk about that. I mean, we both picked South Carolina.
I didn't
really get to see much of the game.
I mean, this is what I get. It was kind of one of those classic Muschamp finds a way to get some momentum going and then just has a game where everything just goes wrong, and it's all like execution issues. We have a pretty good kicker, Parker White. He missed 3 kicks, so we left 9 points on the board there.
New quarterback for LSU, Finley.
Yeah, he looks better.
17 for 21, 265 yards, 2 touchdowns.
We made him look like Tim Tebow out there.
Geez.
Our quarterback Colin Hill threw a pick 6 early, and we allowed the first kick return touchdown in Tiger Stadium since 1981.
Oh, wow. It should have been loud in there for that. That's a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame. But, this is what I signed up for when I decided I was going to go to South Carolina. I shouldn't have expected anything else. So really, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. This is my 8th time getting fooled. I deserve to be grilled, and I deserve all the pain I'm experiencing right now.
It's all right. I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, my team was ranked 13th in the country. So, I mean, let's just let the bygones be bygones. But yeah, LSU killed South Carolina. Just is what normally would happen no matter what.
Yeah.
And of course, Alabama beat Tennessee for the 14th time in a row. And Tennessee, I don't know if you heard what Feinbaum said, but he basically called Jeremy Pruitt a fraud. I mean, and said that it's bullshit that these fans are having to sit here and suffer through that. No, I know there's a little bit of a gap, and Pruitt says
there's also a little bit of an issue of didn't Tennessee pick their coach, and the fans had something to do with him not getting agreed to.
Yeah, but that's a whole different story that we don't have time for.
Was the biggest win by a Tennessee coach this season Rutgers beating Michigan State? Do you think that's fair to say? Big Shiano?
I don't know. I mean, that's a whole different conversation for another time. We can maybe get some guys in here who know maybe a little more than us about that, although I do know a lot about it from the Tennessee side. But, Tennessee, just typical Tennessee-Alabama game that I've been watching for the last 14 years of my life. I haven't seen them win since 2007. Arian Foster, Eric Ainge. It was at home. It was awesome. But, whatever. I don't really want to talk about it. Not much to harp on. We got a bye week this week. Thank God. I can't wait to just do nothing and just do Halloween and not worry about who's playing and just hang out.
Well, how much better did it make you feel that we advocated for betting against Tennessee? I don't know how that would. I didn't know how that would land for you. Do you think?
Well, I mean,
that
if
softened
they
the blow
took
a
it,
little
I
bit?
mean, if you took it, I mean, it's okay. I didn't take it, but
Yeah, it's
I
true.
kind of would have been nice to take it. I mean, it would have had some extra spending money, but whatever.
Yeah, I would.
But I'm kind of with Feinbaum. I don't know. Pruitt better get it figured out, and he better wrap this season up well and win these next couple games that they're supposed to win. They're going to be probably favored. I mean, I would think that they're going to be favored against Arkansas. They'll be favored against Vandy.
Yeah,
And then A&M and Florida, they won't be favored in those.
Whole roster talent issue at Tennessee at all. I think the only real stain kind of on Pruitt for me right now is just that he hasn't been able to replace JG yet, Garantano. I just don't. It seems like I think Nick Saban just had the quote last week that that good defense does not beat good offense anymore. So it's kind of a quarterback receiver league at this point.
Hey, it was like the first time since like 2000 and I don't know 13 or 16, I can't remember, that Alabama didn't have a passing touchdown. So that's nice.
Yeah,
and Jalen Hyatt for the Vols is going to be a nice receiver. He's got burners. We haven't seen a guy that fast since CP. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was a rough weekend for Section 65, kind of just as an entire show. As far as
whatever, man. I'm
it's
getting,
all right. We're numb.
Yeah.
We're numb to it. We'll carry on. I'll keep cheering for the Cox. I'm sure I know Clay will keep cheering for the Vols, and
no matter what,
we'll be here. 10 years from now, we'll be probably in this exact same spot having this exact same conversation. But, it's never going to get better, Clay. Anyways, on that note, let's move on. It's halfway through the season. We're coming up on week 6. So
my odds are better than yours.
Yeah. I mean, historically speaking, if you're going,
it's all right. We don't have to talk about it. Let's roll into the progress reports.
We'll move into our midseason progress reports.
Tanner's got some grades for us that we're going to look at. He's given Tennessee. Well, we'll let it.
I mean, let me
suspense.
Agree or disagree. This was a hard one for me. Tennessee was kind of a tough.
Hold on. Let him wait for Tennessee. Start with somebody else.
Yeah. All right. We'll start. We'll go top to bottom. How's that sound?
There's a lot of Vols listening to this. I mean, it's not my fault. Well.
Yeah. I mean,
keep going.
All right. We're gonna start with Vandy. I gave Vanderbilt an F+.
All right. Next.
Because they're gonna go under one game. That was their over/under for the season. I don't think they're gonna win anything.
No, they need to call it.
Yeah,
they don't have guys. They don't have an O-line. They don't have guys available. Like I think they've got like maybe a little bit over 30 scholarship guys. They need to call it.
Yeah, they might just get COVIDed out for the year, and that might be honestly what's best for the program. I give them an F+ because they might be trying. I can't really tell. I don't know how I would be able to tell.
Yeah, they're still failing though.
Yeah, they're bad. I got South Carolina at a C-. I think I'm a little nervous. I think they're going to be just good enough for Muschamp to keep his job again.
Not what you want.
There's a couple of surprises. Kevin Harris, who I didn't know too much about coming into the year, he's number 2 in the SEC in rushing yards, which is nice. We haven't had a competent running game in a while. We got J.C. Horn and some other good corners coming out. Shiloh. We got the leader in sacks, Kingsley and Agbear. I don't know if I pronounced that right. And Colin Hill looks all right. C-. We're doing all right. Nothing big. Hopefully,
if the South Carolina Gamecocks are C-, and so are the Vols.
You think so?
That's my avocation, and that's what I have to say. He's given Tennessee a D+, which is fair. The Kentucky loss is
the D+
bad.
and the C-. I was right on the fringe for both. I mean,
it's like rating a girl. Like, is she a hard 7 or is she a soft 7?
Yeah, like it was
a big difference. There could be a gap.
The differences are minor. I think the only reason that I'm going off expectations. So I thought Tennessee had a little more expectation coming into this year. I thought the Cox might be just a nightmare. And there's been some pleasant surprises. We're kind of what we always are. Whereas Tennessee, I thought it might kind of be their year a little. Maybe not to take over the SEC or anything, but just they've kind of laid some eggs.
Okay.
Yeah, they've laid some eggs. So I give them a D+. I'm sorry to all the Vols fans out there, but they got plenty of time to fix it. They could definitely be a C+ by the end of the year. Give me Georgia. I got them at a B+. They're the exact same team that they always are. They got great players, good defense, good run game, and they can't win big games. So as long as that keeps up, I'll be happy. Missouri, I got a nice B on Missouri. They're They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're taking care of business. They just got a big win against Kentucky. I like Eli.
Yeah, that LSU win early in the season. That was still before we knew how bad LSU was. So it looks nice for them.
Yeah, I mean,
weren't they like a 21-point dog?
Yeah, they were supposed to lose that game. I mean, so to me, Missouri, they're having a decent season. Again, this is all based off of where they were kind of projected. So I think compared to projections, Mizzou looks competent. I got Kentucky sitting at a C-. They're 2-3, and I can't put my arms around this team at all. I don't know what's going on. I respect Mark Stoops. I think he's a good coach, but they don't seem to have much of an identity, and they don't seem to show up every week. And then to finish out the East, I've got Florida. I've got them at a B- right now. I like Florida.
Yeah, they haven't played in a couple weeks, though.
Yeah, they haven't played in a couple weeks. They could easily come back and raise this grade for sure.
Texas A&M's ranked number 8 now. They're good. So that loss to Florida, it doesn't look as bad.
Yeah. I mean, Florida's probably got the most room for movement, I think, to end the season here. They're a B-, but mostly it's just because I think their defense is really bad and they don't look like they're going to get any better. But their offense is great. I like Kyle Trask. I like Kyle Pitts. They got some dogs out there. So I got Florida at a B-. That's the East. What do you think about those, Clay? Anything stick out to you?
Pretty good overall. I mean, based on the expectations, at least. I mean, I think Tennessee, Kentucky, and South Carolina are probably all there around that D+, C- range. Florida hasn't played, but they're probably, them and Georgia are the top tier of the East, so they're, at that B+, almost A level, and then, Vandy sucks.
Yeah.
And Missouri
there we go.
is doing better than it's a lot. It's really fair,
I give them an F+. They try, they show up. Good for them. That takes a lot of balls just to.
Well, I'm not saying good for them.
Show up with that V on your helmet.
Yeah, I'm not saying good for them. I'm not with you on that, but they're there. So yeah, let's grade them. Let's fail them.
I mean, dude, telling your family that you're committing to play football at Vanderbilt is like having to tell your family that you started a podcast. It can't be easy,
You Jesus, you better be if you're going to commit football at Vandy. I hope that you're coming from somewhere that your parents don't know where Vandy's from or what anything about Vandy, because they'll just be disappointed in you.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway,
all right, moving over to the West though. I've got we're gonna start with Bama. Bama's an A+ for me. They've looked good in all the phases so far. They're the number 1 team in the SEC. I think they should be the number 1 team in the country. Clemson, they're number 1, which makes sense because they're just blasting everyone. But Bama's got 3 of the top 5 receiving leaders, the number 1 running back in yards in Najee Harris, the number 1 quarterback. I'd say probably Heisman favorite, and they're number 1 in points per game outside of their game against Ole Miss. I think they've looked rock solid. They've dominated everybody. So I got them at A+. At the second highest rated team I've got, because we're going off expectation, I got Arkansas as a B+. They're 2-2. I think they're the surprise team of the West. They're playing real stingy defense. I don't know that they can keep it up all year, but I like their direction. I like Sam Pittman. I think they could look a lot worse. They haven't been letting a lot of points up. They've been covering a lot of spreads. I like their direction. After that, I got Auburn sitting at a C-. They are the absolute worst 3-2 team I've ever seen. I was thinking about giving them a D, but they're winning games, so I can't give a 3-2 team a D. Say what you will about Bo and all them, but they seem to know what they're doing late in games, even though they're getting a little help. Ole Miss, I got
from the refs. The refs.
Yeah, so they're getting help from Birmingham for sure. They want a good Iron Bowl this year.
Thanks, Sankey.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Greg. And they fined Lane Kiffin for calling out their refs, and then they told Lane Kiffin the refs were wrong, and they fined him anyways. So good for you, Greg. Kind of a loser move, but whatever. I got Ole Miss at a C+. I think they're opposite of Auburn. I think they're a good 1-4 team. If they get some good recruits on defense, let Lane churn out some good players. They got Matt Corral. He's playing at a really good high level right now. I like their offense a lot. This isn't going to be their year, but I like their direction a lot too. Other team in Mississippi, the other Egg Bowl participant, Mississippi State, I've got them at an F, man. I got a little excited. We jumped the gun a lot on Mike Leach this year, but I don't think he's it, man. I don't know if it's just first year jitters. I don't know why he lost my benefit of the doubt so quick, but the offense is looking bad. They got Kylan Hill is trying to opt out retroactively, and he's one of the best running backs in America. That should tell you something. They're just not a good operation this season. I don't see them making any noise in any games. I might bet against them in pretty much the rest of their games. Texas A&M, I got it a B. They're kind of doing about what I would expect. Having a decent year. This weekend will be a big one.
They're contending.
Yeah, they got a big weekend against Arkansas. I think this weekend, if they can, they'll definitely. They're at a B. They're at a nice B. They got a lot of room to maneuver. But Jimbo's looking all right. Kellen Mond is essentially an all-time great Aggie. I like what they got going on. I like them at a B. A lot of room to move though for the Aggies. They could move up or down. And then finally, the reigning national champions LSU. I've got them sitting at a C minus. They've really not looked impressive in any of their games. They got all these opt-outs. They got all sorts of trouble down there. The best news they've had come out is that Coach O got divorced and he's rebounding with an absolute rocket. So, at least they've always got that, and they've always got 2019 and Joe Burrow. But, if I'm them, I let that other quarterback start the rest of the season. They don't even need Brennan to come back. I mean, he looked good. So that's my West. What do you think about that side, Clay?
I like it. I would give LSU a D just based on the fact that they won the national championship last year. But they, whatever.
Very valid for sure.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, Arkansas is maybe a little high for me, but if we're basing it on expectations and what we thought, I was talking about how Arkansas was going to win like maybe one game, just like
we said in the preseason they were going to be terrible. I thought they were done. I thought
and that's on me, because I did say that Arkansas would be in that tier with Vandy, and they're not. They've won some games and they've looked good.
Well, hey, you also said you liked Sam Pittman though, so we acknowledged.
Oh yeah, that's true. I do like Sam Pittman.
Yeah, we liked him, but first year on the job, I was expecting Arkansas and Mississippi State to kind of be flipped around a little bit. But they are clearly not. Anyways.
I mean, well, yeah.
What was that?
Nothing.
No. All right. Anyways, on that note, speaking of big games coming up this weekend, we're going to do our big three picks, and we're going to get out of here. We're going to have a nice little quickie of a show.
Quickie!
Nice little quickie.
God.
So I am sitting at
7-8
for the season. I was one referee call away from being 8-7 back in the positives. Thanks a lot to the refs in the Auburn Ole Miss game for messing me up, taking me from 2-1 to 1-2 and a negative record for the first time all season. I think Clay is sitting at a sterling 6-9 for the year. He's got a little room for improvement, but I think this is the week. We've had no 3-0 weeks. I want a 3-0 week this week from one of us. It doesn't have to even be me, but we're due at this point. What do you got on your slate, Clay?
All right. We are due, and it's our time to shine. I'll start out. I'm going to go lock it in. I already said it. Ole Miss minus 16.5 against Vandy. Kiffin's going to hang 65 on Vandy. They might not even play. If they don't play, then you're on your own. Take something else. I don't know. But they might play. And if they do play, bet Ole Miss minus 16.5. That's what I'm going.
Yeah.
And then along with that, you just shat on Mississippi State, and I'm kind of with you on that. I do worry about late game scores, but I think the gap between Mississippi State and Alabama is so wide that, Bama minus 31, is it risky to take it? Maybe. Is it fun to watch and hopefully, cheer for them to win by 31 points? Because they probably will.
Yeah.
Then, let's roll with it. Roll with the tide. I'm taking Bama minus 31 just for the hell of it because I want to see Najee Harris rush for another 200, and, they'll have 3 receivers with 90 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns apiece, and,
Yeah, I want to see KJ Costello too. I think KJ Costello might be the reason that spread gets covered. I could see him throwing some late picks.
Oh, yeah. Some picks, some sacks, some fumbles. Yeah, Bama minus 31. And then my last one, I will go what was my last
one? You got Florida.
Oh, yeah, Gators are back. Gators are back in business. I've picked them every week. They've let me down twice, but I'm rolling with them again. Gators are going to come back hot. And what is it, 13.5?
Yeah, I got 13 here. It might have been 13.5.
Yeah, I'll take Gators 13. I think the Gators are going to be excited to play. You know, they're ready to roll, and they haven't played in a while. So
Yeah, 2 weeks to figure out their defense, which is terrible, by the way. But
yeah, but you know, Missouri, they're not that good. Florida's going to hammer Missouri 13. Take it.
I like that. All right. So that's Clay. He's got Florida minus 13, Mississippi minus 16.5, and Bama minus 31. All favorites. I'm going to match him on the favorites a little bit. I'm going to take one underdog and 2 favorites this week. I like Arkansas plus 12.5. They're my official bandwagon. I'm hopping on. I know I've been kind of teasing everyone, hopping around with the Mississippi.
Woo pig, baby.
Stuff, but I'm all in on the Razorbacks. Woo pig, 12.5 points against Texas A&M. I think that's just a pretty big spread. I could see them. I don't know that they're going to win it. I don't think they'll win, but their defense is stingy. They look competent on offense. Felipe Franks.
Rivalry.
They're just stingy. I don't see anyone really blowing them out for the rest of the season. They got one of the best defenses in college football. I like them 12.5 points for sure. I'm hammering that one. That might be my lock of the week. And then I got Georgia minus 14.5, big rebound game at Kentucky. Kentucky, who knows what they're going to look like week to week. I like Georgia. They got the talent gap for sure. 14.5 is a lot, but I have faith. Who knows what Kentucky will show up this week. And then I'm matching Clay, going Ole Miss minus 16.5. I think Vanderbilt would probably be best off just packing it in for the season. Those kids are pretty smart. They don't need COVID in their brains. Yeah, I think Ole Miss is going to hammer them, especially after what the refs did to them last week. Might even get a couple calls go their way or something. We'll see.
I like it. I love it. Week 6 SEC coming up tomorrow.
How nice is this, by the way, Clay? We both have buys this week, bro.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, we're hanging out. I mean, I'm gonna see you tomorrow. I'm headed to Charlotte for Halloween. I mean, happy Halloween, by the way. I mean,
yes, sir. We got the big
Halloween
coming
weekend
down to Charlotte.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. You know, hopefully we'll get to drink some beers and watch some football during the day. I mean, I don't know what else we're gonna have to do other than that. It sounds pretty awesome.
I'll be wearing no stress on our shoulders of the Cox and the Vols playing. We can just enjoy our Halloween.
Well, you know, usually it's Cox Vols tonight or this weekend. It's Cox
you're right.
Vols.
That is
Halloween, but not this year. We already finished you guys. We already took care of that. So
that is something I do. I always did treasure though the Cox and the Vols being on Halloweekend. That was always kind of a cool thing to look forward to. It always felt like a big game. I know. You know, it was always pretty tight too. They always have a good one. Yeah, but it's gonna be nice just sitting back, making some free money on some other SEC games, not having to stress myself out.
Yeah. Well, Tanner, I mean, I think that's it. Thanks for thanks to the listeners for tuning in. Jack will be back next week with his picks. Taking a week off, harp on him a little bit. Jackie Jones, get back on the show. What are you doing?
Jack
Tanner,
Jonesy.
Week 6. Happy Halloween, baby.
Happy Halloween, bud. I'll see you this weekend.
Okay, signing off. See?